Hello, this is Abby Jo, and welcome to my cottage kitchen, where we're going to get some home cooking done on our wood cook stove. We'll be baking bread, making an upside-down cake for tea time, and some sausage potato soup for dinner, and going over my favorite books that I'm reading this month. Let's get the fire going in the wood cook stove. I'm opening up the starting lever and the air intake regulator so we can get a nice roaring fire and heat up the oven so we can bake some bread and cake. I want to freshen up the tea table today. I found this embroidered table runner at a thrift store. It's so cute. I love how it has ruffles at the end. It really does need a good ironing though. My sweet neighbor brought me this beautiful bouquet of dried flowers that was harvested from her lovely flower gardens and then dried. It reminds me that winter is not forever, spring and summer will be upon us soon, and to everything there is a season. I'm refilling my jar with bulk dried yeast. Today I'm making a double batch of challah bread. It's a family favorite. I'm adding 1.5 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of dried granulated yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I mix that up real good. Now I'm adding 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 eggs, and I whisk that together. I'm slowly going to add in 5 cups of flour, give or take. I mix it in with my dough hook and my KitchenAid mixer. This dough is always a little stiff until the first rise, and then it becomes nice and stretchy. I form into 2 discs and cover and let rise. I'm melting butter in my favorite little copper pan. We're going to be making apple pear upside down cake today. I I put my cast iron pan into the oven to melt the butter, and now I'll get to cutting up the fruit while waiting for the butter to melt. Daniel and I always work pretty fast when we work together. I'm adding the sugar and a little cornstarch to the butter. Whenever I make the cake and I have a softer fruit like pears, I add cornstarch about 1 to 2 tablespoons to the sugar butter mixture to make sure everything thickens up well. Adding the pears and apples with a dusting of cinnamon. Now for the actual cake batter. I'm beating the sugar and butter together, and then I'm going to add the eggs. I add half the flour mixture and half the milk at a time, beating the mixture until just mixed, and now I add in the other half of the flour mixture and milk. We had some apples and pears, and I thought that would make a great upside down cake. Added a little cinnamon on top and used the same batter that I use for all my upside down cakes. And that's what we're going to do today, and I can't wait for tea time. Our dough is all risen now, so we're going to make a braided loaf and a regular loaf with this dough, and I'm going to cook it in my wood cook stove. Super excited. I've been working on cooking on it this winter, getting to know it, getting to know the temperatures. I'm still learning, so we'll get this bread into the oven in a few. So see how it kind of formed a little bit of crust? I should have put this dough in a oiled bowl. I usually do. I was just thinking that this is my pizza crust, because usually my pizza crust is super oiled and I like it rises differently, and so I leave it on the counter with a towel over it, and I haven't done challah bread for a while, so it kind of got a crust on it. So what I'm doing is it can totally rise again. I'm just kind of working the dough and getting it elasticy again, and it's beautiful. And then I'll roll it out into a braid. But you know, sometimes you forget. I haven't done this recipe for a little bit, and it's okay. All you have to do is just rework that dough a little bit, just like that. All smooth again, and roll them out into a braid. This dough is super forgiving. It will rise beautifully, and even though I totally spaced and forgot to put it in an oil bowl, it's gonna look beautiful and cook just fine. And one of my favorite things to do is to take the yolk of an egg and add a little cream, blend it up, coat my breads with it, and then add some really delicious, I like to use bagel seasoning, and you can use anything. You put sesames, poppy seeds, salt, garlic, whatever, but I just love putting that topping on, and it just turns out to be such a delicious bread. I love to add the everything bagel spices onto the bread. It is so delicious. I'm going to start peeling carrots and potatoes for a sausage potato soup that I'm going to cook on the wood cook stove. I'm going to be browning 1 pound of sausage in my Dutch oven. It's time to pull out the upside down cake, and now I can pop the bread into the oven. I'm adding an onion to the sausage to saute them together. The best part is flipping the cake. You want to flip while it's still hot. I usually wait about 5 to 10 minutes after pulling it out of the oven, and I run a butter knife around the edges before I flip the cake. I loaded this one with a ton of fruit, more than I usually do, and even though it's ooey and gooey and caramelized on top, the cake is baked perfect below the fruit mixture. I'm quickly going to add some chicken broth, about 4 cups, to the sausage and onions. I've got to check on the bread now. Cooking and baking a lot of dishes at the same time in the kitchen is an orchestra. The flow of music that you have to go with. You follow it. The smells, the times, sounds of mixtures bubbling. It takes all of your senses. It can be relaxing or hectic. I try to keep it relaxing and go with the flow. I might be called a romantic, but this is truly how I feel. I love how the kitchen makes me feel. There's a beauty and purpose in all of it. Everything is nicely cooked now, and I'm adding a cornstarch water slurry to thicken it up a bit. I'm going to top it off with 2 cups of cream. I like to add garlic powder, thyme, and of course salt and pepper. Chili flakes are good too. Let's get a pot of tea on, shall we? Tea time is a ritual of coming together for us. It's rest and connection. It seems to reset the day. You really pause and enjoy the moment. I love this saying, when your day is topsy-turvy and as busy as can be, there's nothing quite as calming as a nice hot cup of tea. I love taking little tea time breaks. Sometimes it's just with my husband. Other times we have the little children like we do today. And when everyone is home or not doing schoolwork, we have tea in the dining room at the longer table. Good morning, friends. What a beautiful new day. It's mornings like this that make me think of quotes from some of my favorite authors. And this one by L.M. Montgomery from her book Anne of Green Gables came to mind as the sun was shining through my windows. Isn't it nice to think that tomorrow is a new day with no mistakes in it yet? This quote makes me smile and think of how many times I watched this movie with my mom and read so many of her books. I thought we should have some toast from the bread I made yesterday and some honey lattes to go with. I love using my AeroPress. My friend Naomi bought it for me for my birthday over a year ago, and what a treasure it's been in the kitchen, giving me perfect shots of coffee. Not having to leave my house for a coffee shop is wonderful. These adorable pottery mugs I'm using today, I bought as a set of 4 at a thrift store before Christmas. They're so cozy and I'm enjoying them as much as I can until spring, as I'll put them away until fall and winter next year. When my husband and I get a few moments, we like to have these little tea times together where we read and talk and rest. They're never very long, 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes more on the weekends, but they are precious to us. We usually have tea or coffee. Sometimes I'll make a smoothie or a cold tea during the summer months. I personally feel that looking forward to these special moments helps us to keep connected and productive with the work at hand during the day. I'm going to make some homemade pizza today. This recipe is on the blog and I'll leave links below and in the description box. It's basically yeast, water, salt, and oil. It's been our pizza crust for years and it really freezes well. I know many of you guys love books as much as I do, and you've requested many times through the comments that I would share more of my favorite books. So I thought that I would actually start showing maybe monthly the pile of books that I'm going through for the month. I love to just have a stack that I am always reading and going through and getting inspired by, so I thought I would share this stack of books for March with you. I love grand adventures that the kids can actually learn new things, but they also stay really interested while I'm reading it to them. So this is The Children Who Lived in a Barn by Eleanor Graham, and I think you guys would really enjoy this book. Reading with your kids or just reading it yourself, it's very enjoyable. Jean Fritz is one of my favorite children's authors. I've read all my kids, all of them, the different ages, all the different books. And this one right here, The Cabin Faced West, is a favorite. I love the day-to-day life that the little girl gets to meet George Washington in the book. She helps her neighbor learn how to read. It's just lots of fun things, and it's just a really, really sweet read. I think you guys will enjoy this. Actually, you would probably enjoy anything by Jean Fritz. These are really, really great books to read to your kids. You asked me what I like. I love history. I like classics. I'll try to show you different ones throughout the months, but these two definitely will be my children's pick for this month of March. I took your guys' suggestion and got this book, The Home Has a Heart, and it's really, really good. I just started it. I'm enjoying it. I love hearing just about this lady's life and her everyday and the recipes and all the good stuff. She's from Sweden, and it's really enjoyable. So I've been enjoying this. Thank you guys for this recommendation. All of you that told me I would like this, and I do. It's been really good. This book is not, I don't think it's on Amazon. I had to go to Thrift Books. So if you can't find maybe an out of print or an older book, a lot of times you can find it at Thrift Books. So look around on the internet and you can probably find these older vintage out of date books. So I'm not actually reading any big novels right now, even though I enjoy them so much. I'm actually kind of in the mode of getting ready for spring because it's around the corner, still a little ways away here for us in the northern climates, but I really start itching for cookbooks and gardening books and just homestead books, things that inspire me for what we're going to get done once the snow melts. I'm really a person that's inspired by looking at books, so I have 4 cookbooks right now that are on my coffee table. I rotate these all the time, and I'll just go through them with you. I love history, so I'm going through the Martha Washington cookbook. I get a lot of from these older cookbooks, more just maybe not a recipe all the time, but like just the methods and what they did and things kind of inspires me. Like oh, I want to try that on my wood cook stove, or oh, I've never heard of that. I wonder if it tastes good. And I like make little notes and I jot things down and I like to try it out. And so um, it's really interesting how they cooked. And I really, really enjoy the old recipes. And sometimes I'm blown away at how much they would cook of like one thing. And it just is really interesting. So this book really makes me happy. And I've been enjoying looking through it in the evenings. And don't forget, I'm going to put the links of the names and the author and where you can find it. If you can find it on Amazon or Thrift Books, you might have to look around for some of them, but I will definitely put all of that in the description below. I love this cookbook so much. My husband got it for me a couple Christmases ago. The Cottage Kitchen, Cozy Cooking in the English Countryside. It's just a fun, fun book. It's written by Marta Marie Forsberg, and I really enjoy the photography. It's just really inspiring. Makes me always want to get into my kitchen. I love like the broody English countryside pictures that are inside of it, and just things that like this, like steaming, delicious bowl of rice right there, porridge, and it's just so pretty. I love this. Doesn't this look like perfect English countryside? Yeah, I just love it so much. But yeah, all the different food. And she has like, I think she has a Norwegian background, but she lives in England. So some of the recipes remind me of my great grandma. And I don't know, it's got a lot of just European flair to it. And it's just really, really a cool book. Here's a really pretty picture right there. The almond celebration wreath. It's just beautiful. These are the kind of books that make me want to get in my kitchen and cook. This book is really a lovely book. It's very farm to table. It's a couple from Australia, Grown and Gathered by Matt and Lentil. It's traditional living made modern. This is a really, really fun book. I'm the type of person that like, if I read about something, then I want to go do it. And so like they are actually harvesting their own salt in here. And so I was like, can we go to a salt lake and get salt? I really enjoy everything in here. And just from their flowers to jam making to trading with people and just kind of building a community. It's a really, really good book with recipes. And it's one of those books that the pictures just delight. And, you know, I'm very inspired by pictures and video. And so I really enjoy this book. I have 2 more books left. Organic Gardening in Cold Climates. I love this book. I've probably shown this to you before, but it's one that I like to keep going through. It just gives such good, just common sense, good knowledge in here. And I really, really enjoy this. I get lots of handy tips, and I like to kind of go through this when I'm planning what I'm going to plant in my garden and my seed lists. And this is just really good. And again, we live in cold climate, so there's not a lot of books out there that kind of cover that, and I really find this book handy. This is the Sheds book that you saw Daniel looking at when he was drinking coffee with me by the fire. This is by David Stiles, the Do-It-Yourself Guide for Backyard Builders. My husband's a builder, so he enjoys any kind of book that has designs and plans, and I love it when he looks through them and we plan on what he's going to build next. There was a really cute shed in here that I thought would be perfect for like having tea and breakfast out in. I really have always dreamed of having kind of our own little area out in the woods where we could have tea and breakfast and read, and all screened in and beautiful for the summertime. I just think it would be lovely. I would love to do that sometime. I really think we need to build a root cellar first. That's actually more of a priority, but down the road, I would love to have a little tea house shed out in the woods. You know how much I enjoy a good book. I would love to hear in the comments below what you guys are reading, and if you have any suggestions for me. You know, I love cooking and gardening and homesteading. I love the classics, and I just love a good cozy book. I'm going to get this dough all rolled out and ready to put toppings on. Now for our afternoon walk. The air is so cold and refreshing. I always feel that these walks wake me up and rejuvenate me during the long winter months. My husband and I just got back from a nice walk and I'm ready to make pizza. When we were out, I asked my daughter to get the toppings ready, let her pick out what she wanted. So she got some sausage cooked up, pepperoni, onions, olives, peppers, and some cheese. So I'm going to make some pizza for tonight. It's Friday night. It's a tradition in our home to have pizza. We usually watch a movie or play games, and everyone looks forward to their pizza evening. So let's get making this. The peppers are still slightly frozen. I freeze sliced peppers in bags just for pizza toppings and when I make fajitas. So good.